Welcome, one and everyone, to this week's episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings, episode 372. I am your neighborhood friendly Oxhorn, here as always, with my suspenders set to maximum stun. They're under my shirt today, apparently. Hello, everybody. Good to see you in the chat today. Imagine Justin says, here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him and you love him. The classiest man on earth, Oxhorn. Robin says, failed to load video. Please refresh the page, Robin. Just keep refreshing. I'm streaming now. Cigar Ox says, and so is my big but shorter cigar. I finally saw the photograph that you posted on our Facebook group of the cigar you smoked last week. The mind boggles, Cigar Ox. The mind boggles. That was quite a stogie. Very impressive. Big Stacks 2 says, quick, here he is. Raise your Scotch glasses. And I raise it back at you, sir. Good to have you on the program. All right. Wow. What a week and what a day. I have had a busy week. Lots going on at work. And so I'm relaxing now. It's good to be relaxing. I've also been really hard at work with my YouTube channel. I released a really important video this week. Important only in that it took a lot of my time. I released a video on the evil ending to the Nuka World DLC for Fallout 4. And it's been received pretty well. I'm pretty excited about it. I did some moralizing at the end, and people have been responding well to that. So hoping that one will take off. And then yesterday I released a video on... or was that this morning? This morning I released a video on the Aeternus Gatling laser. Or I guess people are supposed to call it Aeternus. I don't know how to pronounce it. But I published that this morning, and it also has been well received. So, glad that everybody is continuing to watch my YouTube content. Alright, we've got a great show for you all today. The YouTube chat is particularly quiet. Am I streaming on YouTube right now? Let me refresh the chat page. I see everybody on Twitch, but YouTube seems to be quite silent. Let me see if I'm actually streaming on YouTube really quickly. And it says I'm offline. Well, that would explain it. Alright, sorry everybody on Twitch. I need to figure out why my YouTube is not working. $72. Start. Okay. Episode 372 of Scotch and Smoke Rings. Is that correct? It says I'm now streaming live on YouTube. But that's what it said earlier, and I wasn't streaming live on YouTube. So, if you are in the YouTube chat, please leave a comment so that I know that this is working, because according to my screen, it still says offline. Black Trauma says, alcohol and smoking. You are totally not advertiser friendly. Yeah. Greg says, I don't see you on my YouTube sub feed. Yeah, okay, so I'm not sure what's going on. My software is saying that I'm live on YouTube, but it's not working, so I'll have to fix this. but probably after the program today. Well, yeah, I can't get YouTube to work. Don't know why, and I don't have time to fiddle with it right now. According to my end, I am streaming live right now on YouTube, but obviously it's not happening. So, that is something I'm going to have to work on. Alright, well, it is cigar time. This is what we do. Oh, that sucks. I was going to do a poll today, too. I guess I'm going to save the poll for next week. Yeah, it just does not want to cooperate. Pepper Peppington says, "Hey Ox, I'm back from that party early, but I did still smoke one of my Mark Twain number 3s in your honor." Well, thank you, Pepper Peppington. I'm glad to have you on the program, and extra glad that you were able to smoke one of those Mark 3s. Let's see. DSAP says, "I was sitting over on the tubes of you, and all I could think was, a watched ox never streams." Yeah, I don't know. I normally stream live on YouTube right now, as well as Twitch, and I tried to, and it's not working. So sadly, I'm going to have to spend the evening figuring that out, I guess, tonight. But until then, let's enjoy a good cigar. I've got another Henry Clay stock cut. Got a new shipment in today. Pretty excited about it. And it looks like I'm out of cedar. So we're going to have to do it the bad way. Yes, I'm using a horrible gas station lighter to light this cigar. I beg your forgiveness. Whoa. That is a thick, thick draw. Holy cow. I gotta kind of squeeze it a little bit to open up the fibers. That is unsmokable. Holy wow. Let's cut a little bit off the foot here. Maybe I just got into a bad bit there. It's still really a tough draw. Looks like there is a plug somewhere in the inside of this. Tell you what, let's set it on fire and see what happens. There we go. Ah. The Banta Badger says, "I hope that the family has been doing well, Ox. Here's to a classy and relaxing night." Why, thank you very much. Shawarma says, "The stream is a bit odd tonight, it seems." How so? Odd in what way? Bancy Fadger says, "I'm getting a really good signal tonight, possibly because the YouTube stream isn't active." Yeah, that might have something to do with it. Mads Badger says, when in doubt, light the cigar on fire. It usually works, unless you're smoking a wet sock posing as a cigar from Kentucky. Yes, there is that caveat. Let's put an asterisk there. Renegade Priest says, music is on point tonight, Ox. Thank you, good sir. Alright. Ah. It's pretty good. It's getting better. Fancy Badger's wisdom is prevailing. When in doubt, set something on fire. If I massage the fibers here, I get a looser smoke. Cigar says, since YouTube is out, can we see the Facebook page? If I can find it. Bug trying to make a home. In my airspace. Okay. Let's see what's on Facebook today. Nothing really new, but I'm sure that Cigar Ox just wants to show off the cigar that he smoked last week. And I'm sure we can accommodate him. Let's see here. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the infamous that Cigar Ox was... Look at that thing! Look, that is insane! That is insanity in a nutshell. I love it. I love everything about it. Man, I hope that was a good cigar. Nicely done, Cigar Ox. It's 21 by 80, says Cigar Ox. Holy cow. What are we drinking today? Asks Swinuka. Great question. I don't know. I haven't poured it yet. Looks like the ice has melted a bit. Let's get rid of that water. And looks like we're drinking our 10-year-old bottle of Glencullen. Not quite done with it. Should serve us well throughout the day. There's just a dab left. Oh goodness, what is with all of these links? Alright, I am undeleting the links. Whoa! That's so funny. Alright. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Bottoms up. The Banty Badger says, that looks like my cigar saber from last week's ship. Alright. That's good. Indeed it does. Last week's ship was on point, good sir. Sirius Shank says, greetings from the UK. It's 3:15 a.m. here, and I'm awake due to a thunderstorm terrifying my poor dog. Oh my goodness. Well, your lack of sleep is my reward. I'm glad you're able to show up to the program, even in the midst of a thunderstorm that is scaring your dog. Swanuka says, sounds good. I'm on Med-X, so unfortunately I can't drink with you tonight. You can't drink alcohol when you're on Med-X? Did the two not... Do they conflict? No? I'll have to try it in the game. Imagine Justin asks, how has your week been, Ox? Is the family well? The family is well. We've been doing well. We've been doing a lot of babysitting. My brother and my sister-in-law have been really preoccupied with work this week. So my beautiful wife has been babysitting their daughter for most of the week this week. So she has had very little time to herself. The poor thing, but she's a bit of a champion, so I'm really proud of her. Greg Hartung says, Arnold Palmer has become my classy drink of the choice as of late. Well, everybody loves a good Arnold Palmer. It's still a tough draw. My goodness, that is a tough draw. I want to massage it a little bit to loosen it up, but I don't want to crush it. If I crush it, the wrapper will burst. Arnold Palmer. It's alright. I'm getting into the IT crowd. Have you guys seen the IT crowd? It's a British comedy sitcom from like 2007, 8, 9, something like that. I think the last episode was 2013. It's pretty funny. But that reminded me, one of the main characters, Moss, his signature drink is the White Russian. Everywhere he goes, he orders a White Russian. It's quite bizarre. NL Pez says, I'm curious, Ox, have you heard or seen the Cigar Obsession YouTube channel? Any thoughts? I have not heard or seen the Cigar Obsession YouTube channel, but I want to check it out. Pepper Peppington says, hey Oxhorn, what do you think of the FDA wanting to ban flavored tobacco? Well, I think anytime the government gets involved in banning things arbitrarily, it bothers me. Now, I'm putting an asterisk by that because I do think that the role of government is important, and it's important for the government to regulate certain things that are hard to regulate, like illegal drugs and narcotics and stuff like that. I'm not saying the FDA shouldn't exist. But when the consequences of using a product are understood, well understood, and the substance can be used without abusing it, then I think it's improper for the government to step in and over-regulate things. A flavored tobacco is no different from a non-flavored tobacco, except for that it's got a little bit of flavor in it, right? So it's not going to be more addictive. It's not going to have more tar. So the reason they're trying to regulate it is because more people use it, and they're just trying to use the government to stop bad behavior. They're putting another sin tax, basically. Anyway, so I'm not terribly fond of it. I really enjoy it, says NL Pez. It's where I get most of my info for my more expensive purchases. I've been reading a lot of Cigar Aficionado, but I'll have to check it out, because I love to hear multiple opinions. Pepper Peppington says they want to ban it because think of the children. It's always been my thought that it's not the government's role to think of the children, it's the parents' job. And I don't think the government should be in the position of parenting the world's children. I just don't. Ox sold out. He's working for the man, says Black Shawarma. Well, yes, I am, but it depends on which man you're talking about. Cigar X says the FDA wants to ban my big cigars since they were made after 2007. Yeah, I read a troubling report that basically says that anything that comes from a non-established cigar maker, which basically means anything before 2007, will be illegal. It's like, it seems like such an arbitrary thing. We have your recorded messages. First on the program this week is Imagine Justin.
Greetings, Oxhorn. Margin Justin here. I haven't been able to watch the show for the past couple of days, and I apologize for that. But I will be able to watch the show tomorrow. So, yay. But I have a question for you. I was wondering, what is the proper way to actually apply a bar soap onto your beard? Because I don't have the box version.
Well, that was magnificent. Thank you for the solo at the beginning. And I'm glad that you made it to the program today. As for applying bar soap to the beard, I use a pine tar bar soap. Grandpa's pine tar bar soap. It's a mouthful. Pine tar bar soap. Anyway, you wet the beard. You get the beard nice and wet. You wet the soap until it becomes slick. And then you just grind it in until it froths up and it gets nice and lathery. And then you put the soap away and you wash it out. It's very similar to using other forms of soap on other parts of the body, I must say. But that's how I do it. Next on the program is Nuke a Fishy. Nuke a Fishy, what's on your mind?
Greetings, Oxhorn. Nuke a Fishy here. Wishing you and the rest of the Scotch and Smoke Rings crew in chat a wonderful Thursday. Now, I know you weren't personally attached to the idea of player-based mods on Fallout 4 and Skyrim for the PlayStation 4, but I just found out today that of all things that on launch, Farming Simulator 17
I read
will
about
have
that.
access to player-based mods. Now, I'm not angry at the developers of Farming Simulator for this. I'm angry at Sony because when Sony shot down Bethesda, they said it was for security purposes, that they did not want mods on the PlayStation 4 whatsoever, at least player-based mods. And so they shot it down for two of the biggest role-playing franchises ever, but they're allowing it for Farming Simulator.
I know, right?
I'm not trying to discredit the game, but Farming Simulator.
It's a farm sim.
I'm just curious of your opinion of this. But anyway, in case I'm not there tonight, because I do have some things to tend to, you and everyone else have a wonderful Thursday and enjoy your Scotch.
Well, as I recall when I read the news, the announcement was that the Farm Simulator was still planning on having mods. Basically what happened is they made an announcement after Bethesda made their announcement, and they said, despite what's going on in the Fallout 4 world, we're still planning on releasing mods for our players on the PS4 who love the farm simulator that we have. And that's what I heard. I don't believe they actually have PS4 mods yet. I could be wrong. If you know any different, let me know. But I think this is a sort of wait-and-see kind of thing. I mean, we had to wait past the June deadline for PS4 mods that Bethesda and Sony had given us. 2 months beyond that deadline. Well, yeah, 2 months. More than 2 months beyond that deadline before we finally got the confirmation that mods were not coming for the PS4. We're not even at the deadline yet for the farm simulator. Sorry, it's just... what the heck? What world is this? So, what mods do you need for a farm simulator? Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Black Shawarma says, grumble, grumble. Hey, no making fun of farming. You get your backsides out here and I'll let you try to deal with the cattle. Hey, I have complete respect for farmers. It's not work I could do. I sit in my comfy ivory tower on the west coast with my tech job and my running water. And I know I'm spoiled. I realize it. I'm just not the kind of... I'm not the same as a manly farmer in the Midwest with their cowboy hats and their bales of hay and their red tractors and their studding of cattle. So I have nothing but respect for the farmers who feed the rest of us. Cigar X says if a cigar maker wants to introduce a cigar with a different wrapper or change its size, they have to fork over $250,000 and submit many pages for the cigar to be tested by the government. I can see it now. How do you test a cigar? What are you looking for in that test? Well, this cigar's got a nice dark wrapper. I sure am glad I'm being paid $250,000 to sit here and test this cigar. What a wonderful test. What kind of gig is that? I need to get into that gig. I would totally be paid $250K to test a new cigar. I'm just saying it now. If anyone out there wants to pay me $250,000 to test their cigar, I will gladly do it. Just putting it out there for the world to hear. Government, man. The government. Black Shawarma says, are you kidding? Various equipment options, angles of implements, growth markers, all kinds of mods. And yes, I understand that you people probably have no clue, but still, it's better than Farmville. I have to admit, a farming simulator would be better than Farmville. That's not saying much, because anything is better than Farmville. But, at least you're dealing with real equipment, or simulated real equipment. Okay, I can see the mods now. Right, somebody wants to, put a nice gunmetal finish on a tractor or something. Download the gunmetal finish mod. Okay. I get it. Black Storm says, you people equals city people. I knew that. I knew that's what you were saying. What did you think that I thought you were saying? Oh yeah, beer. Because why not? Scotch, beer, and cigars. Have a nice Belgian with my Scottish. Robin says, I remember hearing that they had to submit a number of samples for testing to the FDA, which means they will have to have already allotted the land to grow the cigar with no guarantee to be let into the American market. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the point. They're trying to kill any kind of tobacco industry whatsoever, completely ignoring the history and culture of cigars, how cigars are consumed, the difference in dangers between cigars and cigarettes. It's sad. Sean Dagger says, what are your thoughts on the goat simulator that I've heard about? Yeah, I remember a couple years ago, I remember seeing a lot of videos about the goat simulator when it came out. It's one of those things that the reason it's popular is because it's so ridiculous. Right? There's no unique gameplay mechanic, there's nothing really witty about it. But the name is amazing. Goat Simulator. I gotta find out what this is. That's why it's popular. DSEPS says Farmville is a real town in Northern Carolina. My whole family teases my cousin for living there. Your cousin lives in Farmville? Aw, that would be awkward. In this day and age, post-2012, to live in Farmville? Ouch. Sirius Shank says, I can't wait for the upcoming release of Insurance Worker Sim. Yeah, some of these simulators are starting to get pretty crazy. What was that game? I saw a game reviewed that was called YouTuber Sim. You're playing a game pretending to be a person who reviews games all day. That's the game. You go to your computer, you open up your video editing software. You're at your computer playing a character who's at his computer using video editing software. That's the game. YouTube Sim. Something like that. Some of this stuff gets crazy, guys. Imagine Justin says, gasp! Oxhorn, you didn't cover the camera when drinking out of the bottle. That's different. This is a Belgian beer bottle. It's okay to drink a Belgian beer out of the bottle, although ideally it would be better to have a nice tall glass and then pour it over the lip and get a tiny little foam at top and then it frosts over. That would be better. But it's still okay to drink from one of these bottles. It's not okay to drink out of one of these. Hobos drink out of these. Classy gents on vacation drink out of one of these. That's my moralizing. Swanuka says, Goat Farmer, or Goat Simulator is a hilarious game. A friend of mine got it when it came out. Had many laughs. Shank says that you should make a Scotch and smoke rings sim. Achievement! Your suspenders are set to maximum stun. Yeah, that'd be fun. Madman Max says, did you read about Chris Metzen leaving Blizzard to retire? If so, what are your opinions? I did read about that, and God bless the man. He's been working really hard on this franchise for 20 some odd years. He's probably rolling in the dough. He's probably been set for life for quite some time, but he's stayed with it out of love of what he does. But 20 years is a very long time, and you know what? He's got a young baby girl. I think it's a baby girl. And he's got his beautiful wife, and he wants to spend time with them. And now he's dedicating his life to being a father and a husband. There is no greater call than that. Go for it, man. God bless you, Chris Metzen. Love what you have done for Blizzard fans everywhere. Black Sharma says, my family has used primarily Massey Ferguson tractors for 73 years. And they aren't a playable option without a mod in the game. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm getting it. I am getting it. Mods, they make sense for the farm simulator. Sean Dagger says, speaking of suspenders, where are yours, Oxhorn? They're actually under my shirt today. Forgot to take them out to put on display before the show began. J-Rad the Mighty says, good afternoon, Oxhorn. Good afternoon, J-Rad. Gregor on Blackbane says, achievement unlocked. Ban 20 unclassy Twitch users on Scotch and Smoke Rings. Indeed. That's funny. Cigar update! It's getting better, ladies and gentlemen. We're through the tough bit. It is now smooth as butter. I think this is my favorite on the album. This week, in biology, new Alzheimer's research could reverse synapse degeneration and stop memory loss. Good news. See, I'm living my lifestyle under the presumption that when I'm in my 50s, things like cancer and Alzheimer's and obesity and diabetes will have all been solved. Otherwise, I'm kind of bummed. Oh, man. I'm glad that science is making the progress that it is. I'm very glad about that. This week, in energy, Costa Rica announces that they have been running solely on renewable energy for 76 days straight. Guess they were upset about the headlines where we saw that, what was it, Scotland ran on completely renewable energy for one day. For one day, their wind turbines produced more power than they could consume for that day. And then here comes Costa Rica. They're like, oh, well, guess what? We've been doing it for 76 days. Okay, so someone threw down the mic, ladies and gentlemen. Who's next? For the first time ever, CRISPR-modified vegetables have been harvested, cooked, and eaten. Whoa! If you haven't seen anything on CRISPR gene editing, it's fascinating stuff. The, in a nutshell, guys, previously known as Cigar or something like that, did an entire video on CRISPR gene editing, and it's really interesting stuff. It's going to be breaking, you know, it's going to be making it so much easier to edit the gene pool to remove unwanted and unnecessary side effects and mutations, which I think is a great thing. Black Shawarma says, yeah, right, I seem to recall when I was 24, hearing that aging would be solved within 20 years. And we see how well that worked out, yeah. Well, I'm hearing the same thing. People are saying, yeah, by the time, you know, you're in your 60s, the whole aging thing will be reversible. Okay. I look forward to that. Nukafishy says, Alzheimer's research is actually on track to have it solved in about 12 to 13 more years. They're already doing studies and tests with a few solutions that showed very promising early results. And I think it's one of those things that can be fixed if we just... I mean, it's not like... There are some things that can't be fixed. Aging can never be fixed or reversed, I don't think. But Alzheimer's happens when plaque... It's not really plaque, but it's like plaque. It builds up in the brain, causing an acid to kill your memory, right? So as long as you keep that from building up, No Alzheimer's. It's got to be fixable. Madman Max says reverse aging. I don't want to be young forever. Yeah, they'll be giving kids pills to grow up faster and then giving adults pills to grow young. Black Stormer says to drink more alcohol to dissolve the plaque. I like your thinking, sir. Good on you. Cheers. Nebraska Ball says, why not take the knowledge from young people and stick it into the old people? Amazing! That's what the entire Safe Place generation of students wants to do. After all, they know everything. Greg Hartung says, I'm not entirely worried. I have a feeling that they'll have an inexpensive solution for almost every ailment in about 50 years' time. I hope so. That's the goal. Renegade Priest says, stop bullying me, Ox. I'm triggered. Sorry to trigger. Go to your safe space. God forbid you hear something that hurts your ears. Shawarma says, so we can take the kids and swap out their brains, get the young bodies, and they can get stuck with the worn out ones. I like this idea. Getting to some dicey science fiction now. Madman Max says, I want to be old and gray-bearded man with my grandkids in my lap, reading them stories of Taran, inventing swear words. So I guess I need to come up with an Inventing Swear Words book. Children's book. Someday. Big Stacks 2 says, this decade is disappointing me sometimes. Well, there has been a lot of disappointment with this decade, Big Stacks 2. This has been a disappointing decade. So was the last one. The last 20 years have been pretty disappointing. Just in general. Clockwork Kaiser says, every generation is disappointing to the previous. Yeah, but this is different. I mean, I am in this generation. I am technically a millennial. I am 35 years old. I was born in 1981. I'm right there at that millennial age, and even I am disappointed in my generation. I don't know if that's quite common. I mean, are most people in their generation ashamed of their generation? I don't know. There is much good that can be said about millennials. They've got a great work ethic, the ones who work. And they love to travel. So, it's not all bad. Black Shroom says, wait, no, you're Gen Y, Ox. Now, I've done a lot of research on this. I'm kind of straddling the line. I was born in 1981, and people say that millennials is 1981 to 2010 or 2018, something like that. Clockwork Kaiser says, I'm a millennial as well, but there's a big difference between early millennials and late millennials. Okay, I suppose that's true. Renegade Priest says, speaking of disappointing, wasn't the Y2K scare way more of a letdown than the 2012 prediction? I think everybody was... I mean, the Y2K scare, people were really scared about it. I remember. Back in 2000, people were really worried about it. It was even mentioned in movies. There was... What was it? Office Space. His entire job was he was trying to update software in preparation for Y2K. And you had all of the news the night before the hours switched. All of the news were like, okay, Y2K countdown. It was a legitimate thing that people were scared about. And literally nothing happened. Then the whole Mayan 2012 calendar thing, it didn't scare anybody. We had all learned our lesson by then. We're like, yeah, okay, Mayan calendar, 2012, all right. The only people freaking out about it were like these fringe conspiracy theorist people. The kind of people who think that aliens are on comets that are going to hit the Earth and wipe them out in some sort of apocalypse. Those are the kind of people that were scared of the Mayan calendar prophecies. Cigar Ox says, "Hey, children, I'm a cigar-smoking baby boomer and proud of it. I'm so glad we got a baby boomer on the chat with us. Cheers to you, Cigar Ox." I remember Y2K, says NL Pez. I was in high school. A friend of mine spent the countdown, and switch stuck in my, at the time's girlfriend's... Wait, I'm confused. Spent the countdown and was stuck in my, at the time, girlfriend's basement window. Okay. No, and got stuck. Sorry, I'm having a hard time reading. Spent the countdown in the basement and got stuck in my, at the time, girlfriend's basement window as we tried to sneak into her house. Got you. Sneaking into your girlfriend's house during the whole Y2K thing? Worst time could be spent. This week in transportation, an autonomous farm tractor that can plant, monitor crops, and harvest is unveiled, and will soon be available as a mod for the PS4 in Farm Simulator. I'm sure. This week in space, Philae, the little robot lost on a comet since 2014, is finally found by the European Space Agency. I remember when that happened. That was big news, and I'm glad they finally found it. This week in artificial intelligence, IBM's artificial intelligence Watson creates the first AI-produced sci-fi movie trailer. Oh, you're really going to give me that without giving me a link to the sci-fi movie trailer? Wait, is that it? It's 3 minutes long. Should we watch it? You guys want to watch a movie trailer completely created by artificial intelligence? Alright, let's see if it's any good. Alright, this is art made by a computer. Wait a minute, I don't get it.
Its first birthday. They exceeded our wildest expectations.
Nice to meet you, Morgan.
What?
Nice to meet you, Lee.
Why did they do that?
13-year-old daughter. You don't get to see her much anymore.
All Alright, I'm confused. This doesn't seem to me to be an artificially made trailer. It's too stupid. Well, I mean... Okay, hold on. This is a trailer from 20th Century Fox about an AI that develops superhuman-like abilities. Oh, and it was made by AI. That's right, this movie trailer for the movie Morgan was completely made by artificial intelligence. Oh, okay. Alright, let's finish it. Might as well. We're already here.
Skip, don't go in there, okay?
Don't what?
Don't you go down there, Skip.
Don't be afraid, Amy. I have to go say goodbye to Mother.
Bored. This is boring. Is that it? Wow.
Fox approached IBM and they said, well, we have this movie coming out. It's called Morgan. And it's an AI horror thriller. And then what Fox asked was, could Watson analyze the movie and generate a trailer automatically?
Huh.
As human beings, we're very quick to judge the mood of an individual. Possibly an AI over time might be able to develop those same instincts.
So we
Ooh.
thought, let's send Watson to film school.
Morgan was our little breakthrough. It exceeded our wildest expectations.
Here you have the whole of the Morgan movie, and
It's
you
like
can
a
see
synth.
where action is taking place at the different moment of the movie. And this is how Watson actually extracted salient moments from Morgan, which we then proposed for making the trailer.
Watson was able to model the scenes visually to determine
Alright, I've lost my interest, but interesting.
was the scene scale.
Interesting that you can get AI to completely generate a movie trailer. However, the problem is that it wasn't complete AI. It was guided AI. As you saw just a minute ago, they're like, oh, well, we highlighted the moments in the movie where there was the action. And then we kind of fed that to the AI, and it's like, yeah, okay. You used AI to sculpt a movie trailer instead of producing it the typical way. It's not true AI generating a movie trailer, which makes it less interesting. Also, what is it with movie trailers these days? If they want to be creepy, they just sing children's rhymes in a creepy little voice. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. I mean, come on, really? It's not scary. It gets bored and, old and boring. Quick. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Alright, where's my music? I need a good music. Clockwork Kaiser says they should sing Bieber songs in a creepy voice. I would defecate. Ooh. Lucky Rabbit's Foot. Black Tremor says, yep, the Ox Witch Project. You saw it here first, folks. Should I come up with my own brand of horror film? Yeah, I could really do it. It would be horrible, but I could do it. Big Stacks 2 says, wow, that was 8 out of 10 already, Oxhorn. When's your release date? Oh, man. NL Pez says, I am thoroughly enjoying the show tonight. Took some time off of games and such. Being back in Legion while watching Oxhorn is kind of surreal right now, I know. I'm hearing a lot about Legion. My mom is a big World of Warcraft player. I got her into it, so I partially am responsible. And she is loving Legion. I haven't played it yet myself. I just don't have the time. But I hear that it's great. I hear that it's revitalized the World of Warcraft fan base. So, good on them. I really hope that they find success with Legion. DSaps22 says, speaking of music, have you ever listened to any of the music done by Hugh Laurie? The only music done by Hugh Laurie that I'm familiar with is the Jeeves and Wooster soundtrack, back when he was performing Wooster in the Jeeves and Wooster show with Stephen Fry. He did all of the singing and piano playing in that album. He's a very talented man. And he's got a great voice for that kind of 20s jazz, that kind of 20s music. So I'm a huge fan of that album. I listen to it all the time at work. But I do know that he produces music outside of that, and I haven't listened to much of that. I have listened to the stuff that he made for A Bit of Fry and Laurie. But that's about it. Clockwork Kaiser says, would that horror film of yours, Oxhorn, just be a series of slow-motion scenes set to creepy children's rhymes of men shaving off their poor innocent beards? Oh, I can see it already. That's the next YouTube sensation. Men, bearded men sitting in front of a mirror, tears down their faces, nursery rhymes in the background, shaving off their beards and shaking. Oh, that's creepy. Ah, I'm getting creeped out just thinking about it. All right, ladies and gents. This hour flew by. Gosh, it doesn't even feel like it's been an hour. But the hour has flown by, so it's time to transition to Overwatch, as we typically do here on Scotch and Smoke Rings. We'll do the show for an hour, end the program, and then play Overwatch together. So that's what we're going to do now. So I am ready for your smoke ships. By the way, be sure to tune in next week. I have a really important poll that I want to give everybody, both on YouTube and Twitch, about the kind of games you would like to see me producing content for in the future. So be sure to tune in next week, where I'm going to be sharing that poll with you so that your voice can be heard, because I'll be basing some of my decisions based upon the results of that poll. All right, smoke ship time. With the return of Legion and nuisance players across World of Warcraft, Oxhorn's fans form a coalition in his absence to hunt and annihilate every mailbox dancer, gold farmer, beggar, and ninja looter in Azeroth. The group meets at a cigar shop opened by fans in Mulgore to induct a new initiate, only to be sabotaged by a gang of hippies who left their safe space in Darnassus to attempt a surprise attack. When things seemed most bleak, the battlefield was filled with awe as Ox emerged from a portal, stepping his way onto the battlefield in full Fallout 4 power armor. Ox played a few notes on his penny whistle, causing every elf to spontaneously combust and turn into a bottle of scotch that tastes like vengeance. Wow! I'm loving the poetry. I'm loving the poetry, Fancy Badger. Ox looked at the crowd with mutual respect for their loyalty, leaving them with a single nugget of wisdom before riding off into the sunset atop his nuclear-infused Kodo, Buzzco 3. As always, remember to stay classy, he says. That is an intense smoke ship there, Fancy Badger. Swanuka says, hey, you already produced a horror movie. It's that sea captain in the old pharmacy in Vault 88. Yeah, that's true. I had a lot of fun with that one. Serious Hank says, how about a smoke tractor? All right, it's food for thought. Clockwork Kaiser says, I know this is crazy, but how about a ship? Like an actual ship? For the smoke ship? Man, I don't know. Big Stacks 2 says, well, that ship was definitely modded. Sounds it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we will go with Fancy Badger Smoke Ship on a tractor. Just to make everyone happy. How about that? Alright, here we go. Wait, no. Black Sharma has one. Smoke ship. A fantastic fried fish sandwich, 8 ounces of beer-battered fried dolphin on a grilled whole wheat bread with American cheese, juicy fresh tomato slices, and Russian tartar sauce. That's the ship. Dolphin? I'm not close enough to Japan to enjoy dolphin, I'm sorry. Yes, I am right by the Pacific Ocean, but we don't tend to hunt for dolphin and eat it here. We put them in our aquariums and call them names like Pete. Black Shawarma, speaking from experience, says dolphin is good. Okay, thanks. Something about eating dolphin creeps me out, personally. Just fry it, says Renegade Priest. Alright, there's a lot of dolphin food tips coming on right now, I think. Alright, we'll move on to something else. Alright, smoke ship time, ladies and gentlemen. Pay close attention. Here we go. Ah! I hope you didn't blink, because if you did, you missed it. But we had everything that was there in Fancy Badger's ship. The power armor, the vaporized elves, the bottles of whiskey, on a tractor. And I even threw in some dolphin sandwiches just to round it all out. Right? Okay. Greg Hartung says, I love your pronunciation of tartar sauce. Did I say tartar sauce? Tartar sauce. Alright. Fancy Badger says, that was amazing. Intense. I couldn't believe it. It will hang on the Louvre someday. On a tractor. Bravo, says Clockwork Kaiser. You even included a menacing fog. Yes, it's true. There was the menacing fog. I love your pronunciation of whiskey, says Swanuka. Whiskey? Whiskey? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this episode of Scotch and Smoke Rings. Time to move on to Overwatch. I hope you can all join me. Stay here on Twitch. We will continue with Overwatch here on Twitch. And for those of you watching the replay on YouTube right now, feel free to subscribe to my Twitch channel. It's linked in the description of this video so that you can join me live on the show on days like this when I can't get the YouTube live stream to work for some reason. Don't worry, I'll try to figure it out for next week. Alright, everybody in the chat is saying, whiskey, cool whip, Will Wheaton. Alright, I'm done. Done! We're not talking about words with W's anymore. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta end it. Thank you so much for coming, and be sure to tune in next week. Same Ox time, same Ox channel. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that every single one of you stays classy.